nuclear weapons in the Baltic Sea region. That is how Russia says it will respond if Sweden and Finland decide to join NATO. The threat came from the number 2 on Russia's Security Council, Dmitry Medvedev. Sweden and Finland say they are now thinking about joining NATO because they are alarmed by Russian aggression in Ukraine. Let's get some perspective now from our CNN Global Affairs analyst, New Yorker staff writer, Susan Glasser. Susan, just that Sweden and Finland are thinking about this is a huge deal. And now Russia obviously maybe feels threatened or feels worried and is issuing essentially a threat saying don't do it.
That's right. I mean, first of all, this underscores what a terrible miscalculation Vladimir Putin made. He complained about NATO. Well, the response to his war of aggression in Ukraine, which the United States and others warned him about in advance very explicitly, is now potentially an incredibly significant expansion of NATO, and that would be a direct consequence of Putin's actions. A reminder, by the way, that Sweden and Finland, the entire Cold War, Joseph Stalin didn't cause them to join NATO in the way that Vladimir Putin looks like now he will have. So a big miscalculation.
It is remarkable. We've been talking throughout the program about this new $800 million Biden security assistance package. It's on top of prior packages, but what makes this one so unique is they are heavier, more deadly weapons included in it because of appeals from President Zelensky, because of expectations about what the next phase of the war will be in eastern Ukraine. Elliot Cohen writes this in The Atlantic. It's an interesting perspective. In Washington, the metronome of war ticks too slowly. The administration has not taken advantage of the near unanimous support for Ukraine in Congress, a marvel of bipartisanship in this contentious period of American politics, to press for much larger sums for the Ukrainian military. Is that a valid point, that even though this new package is quite significant, that maybe the president should be asking for more?
Well, I think there are certainly strong arguments for doing so. And, President Zelensky, by the way, has been extremely effective at mobilizing world opinion, lobbying directly for these weapons, even from, his bunker in Kyiv. And I think you've seen the United States, as a result of that, give far more than was ever possible. But the Biden administration, it's like walking over the ice and testing each step along the way. What will it bear? And there have been these enormous concerns every step along the way of Russia and escalation, which is, to your previous point about the nuclear saber rattling that you hear from Russians, that's one of the major deterrents that they have left for the United States and NATO, is threatening nuclear escalation. And so that's why you hear it. In part because they don't have a lot of other options to deter the United States at this point.
I like the testing the ice metaphor. Now that they have decided, we're sending howitzers, we're going to give you the helicopters you wanted, we are sending much more heavier anti-armor weapons into Ukraine. Have they irreversibly crossed the line to be more muscular, or is this one package at a time we need to look at it?
Look, I don't think that Putin is under any illusions here. He understands that the United States and the NATO alliance would like to bleed him as much as possible in Ukraine. Certainly, that increases the security of NATO members themselves. It's much less likely that Putin has the capability to threaten the NATO members in the Baltics and Poland right now if he is being pinned down and made to really pay the price inside Ukraine itself. So he understands that that's the American calculation right now. We're shipping as much heavy weaponry as possible to the Ukrainians.
Susan Glasser, grateful for the important insights. Conversation will, of course, continue. Thank you. Up next.
저는 그런 생각이 드는 것 같아요. 가서